Hey, welcome everybody to season 2 of the 7 Minutes to Better Selling podcast. I'm your host, Colin Lake. Jimmy P, welcome.
Great. Thanks, Colin. I apologize for the last time we were scheduled. I apologize to everybody who was ready to tune in, but the hurricane here in South Florida had other ideas.
Yes, I get that. We all understand that. And so Jimmy P is the president of Impact Speakers, which is a presentation, communication, and sales skills company. He has worked with organizations all over the world. He has had a strong focus in the financial services industry, but many of you know him just because of his wonderful reputation of doing some great things for all types of people and all types of organizations. So Jimmy P, grateful for you being here.
Thanks, Colin. It's obviously, like I said, it's great to be here.
Yep. Okay. So my question is, how do you get to this? Like, you've been doing this for a really long time, operating at a really high level with a really strong reputation. How do you get from like where you were 25 years ago to where you are today with this, like I say, strong and continually building business with this wonderful reputation?
Yeah, when you say 25 years, it does remind me where I came from. Listen, I had always been in sales, never set the world on fire. Finally, I met some people that I learned the structure, I learned the way to present, and just was with them for a couple of years, but then went to a nationally known company, was the national sales training director for them for many years. So I did speeches for them. I trained all of their salespeople. I worked with marketing to help craft messages so that the message that was being spit out to the salespeople was consistent. That happens a lot where it's not. And then at one point, I just thought, why not do this on my own? I just jumped into it with 2 feet, Colin. I had no idea what was going to happen. All I really needed was somebody to do a quick web design. I had a computer, I had a cell phone, obviously, and it just took off from there. I know it sounds so silly because a lot of people get into a business and there's a big startup, there's a big ramp up, and I didn't have that. As you said, I was blessed to have a good reputation in the industry already, and I just hit the ground running. As simple as it sounds.
It's a great transition point. So the whole sales world, and this is like the last 10 years, is changing. And in particular, the sales people, the salesperson, their reputations are declining slowly. Like the position of sales, that like car salesman moniker that like comes with salespeople, I think continues to expand. And so my question to you is, in this world where people don't have as high opinion of a salesperson as maybe they could or should, how do you take that reputation internally? Like, how do you take that reputation and say, okay, I've got to sell myself every morning when I wake up to perform at my highest level and continue to perform at my highest level? How do you convince yourself or train yourself to do that?
Yeah, I think, it's funny when you say the word salesman, I think of words like pitch, those kinds of things.
Right.
And, we don't pitch anymore. As you said in my introduction, I teach communication skills, presentation skills, sales skills. And I always put sales last because to me, all sales is persuading somebody into taking an action you want them to take. And we did talk about, I was in the financial industry, and the vast preponderance of the business that I do now is in the sales, is in the financial arena. But what I teach is universal. I use some semblance of what I teach every single day to get a better room in a hotel, to get a better seat in a restaurant. Listen, in my seminars, I actually teach people how to get a 9-year-old to clean their room. You get a 9-year-old to clean your room, you can get a client or a prospect to do anything. And so I think what it is, it's passion. We've all seen that individual who gets up in front of a room, or he's on virtual, even on the phone, and they say, this is something I'm going to talk about now that's near and dear to my heart.
Mm.
And I know nobody in the audience is going, go on, I can tell you love this. I would venture to say there's nobody who's ever met me personally or professionally, but certainly professionally, whether it's in my 2-day seminars or whether I'm standing up in front of an audience, who has ever said, I don't think he believes in what he's doing.
So, that you just like put a thought in my head. That's your why. That's your why. Like that, your passion. You're passionate about this. But how do you get that passion? Do you know, like what drove you to be that passionate?
I guess it was when I first started in this industry, and I would start training people that were just on the phones. And by the way, that was a terrible word, just people that were on the phones. We need the people on the phones, maybe more than the outside salespeople. So I would train the phone people. As I watched them ultimately get outside sales jobs and then segue into being a divisional manager, perhaps, and a senior manager, national manager, that's when I realized, okay, passion works. And the most important thing, it's contagious. Passion is contagious. That's why this guy that talks like this, look at the audience and they're all sitting there like this. But if you get up there and you believe in what you're doing, you believe in what you said it at the very beginning. You got to like what you do. I ask people in my classes, I ask people in my audiences, how many people in here love what you do? And you get some people that raise your hands. My God, I envy those people because that's me.
As I just replay this in my head, and I'm going to give you the last words here, and then I'll ask Simon to pay attention to what you're saying so we can put up your website and your email address and how to get in touch with you. But what drives you, what gives you that passion is I'm taking people who are on the sales desk and looking to move to a level that is way higher than they ever imagined getting there. Like I'm helping them get there. Maybe that's why and how you found your passion. Like when it's really difficult, I say, I help that person get to where they ultimately wanted to be in their aspirational dreams. And so that's maybe what I'm hearing. So I'll ask you to wrap up on that thought and then remind everyone how to get in touch with you and how to find you.
At the end of my 2-day seminar, literally sometimes there are tears in that room, and they're not tears of sorrow, they're tears of joy because people are overcoming a fear, a phobia. They get confidence that they didn't have before. Oh, by the way, they get closing techniques that they never had before just by being more specific. So yeah, I mean, it's the most exciting thing in the world. Why in the world would I stop doing this? You know, we talked about this earlier. I will stop doing this when I enjoy doing nothing more than I enjoy this. And I'm nowhere near that right now, Colin.
Yeah. It's like Tom Brady. So why am I going to stop when I'm still loving what I'm doing and I'm performing at a really high level? And that's personification of you. All right. So Jimmy P, tell everyone where to find you, how to get in touch with you.
Well, several ways. You can go to my website at impactspeakers.com. By all means, go ahead and send me an email, jimmyp@impactspeakers.com. So I'd love to hear from any of you that have any questions or you want to talk to me about seminars or speaking engagements, whatever. Please reach out. Love to hear from you.
Last thought, find your passion. Let that passion continue to fuel you. And that's one of the best ways to sell yourself. Good selling, everyone.